Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. Like a cat.
Yeah. That's the internet meme, is the Owen Wilson.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're familiar with it.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah.
Big podcast money.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about that. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk About That. I'm your co-host Tony,
and I'm Martin. And it's weekend as always when we record this, Tony. And you had some some disappointing experience yesterday.
Yeah. Wasn't the most disappointing thing in my life, but
I hope not.
No, I went on a ghost tour the other night. It was fun. I learned some interesting history, but it wasn't really kind of geared around like doing investigation like in a area that is reportedly has activity. I was really hoping to get some of that in.
Yeah.
Because I'd like to do more of that. I've really not done very much of it at all. And it's one of those things. It's hard to do by yourself. I feel like when you don't know the area very well and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I was hoping that this could be kind of a lead into some things, but no, it was just a fun little night. We had some friends that came with, and so we went to like a bar and had dinner and some drinks beforehand, and that was very pleasant.
You made it to an evening instead of just that. Yeah.
Because
you are kind of into the paranormal and ghost hunting stuff and things like that.
Yeah, I want to be more into them than I am, I guess. I'm very interested in them.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is I've tried around here. I've tried to find groups that are, that like paranormal groups that are active and accepting new members.
Yeah.
And I've just had a heck of a time finding anyone that is accepting. There's kind of a big group in the Twin Cities, but and I've talked to them on several occasions now, but it just sounds like it's fairly infrequent when they open up membership.
Yeah,
so,
that's sad. I mean,
but that is something that I feel I'm very motivated to get into for a variety of reasons. I think it's very, very interesting. And again, I don't want to be one of those like, oh, whatever, everything's a ghost. That's absolutely not how I approach that sort of thing. You got to be skeptical, you know. And I think if I can find something that, despite my skepticism, I can't explain, I think that would be amazing. I would love to have that happen.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Absolutely. I mean, if you're actually out there looking for something, I mean, isn't the scientific way to believe it's not there until you can't prove it's not there anymore? Kind of like you have.
I mean,
if you're looking for something, you have to find out that it's definitely there. You have to find every possibility that it's there, and
yeah.
And
I think, the other thing that you get sometimes is, people that are very dismissive of paranormal because it can't be scientifically explained or something like that, or we can't prove it scientifically. And I think that's a very close-minded way to look at it. Like, I 100% agree that we can't prove ghosts are real, or that the paranormal is real, or anything is anything other than mundane. But I also think that it's hubris to think that we know all the variables to control for to prove something is real.
Yeah.
In that, we understand so little about the paranormal, if there is the paranormal, that how do we know that we can control for the variables to because science is about repeated tests, changing, controlling the different variables, changing one thing and figuring it out.
Yeah.
And obviously that works great in a lot of situations, but how can we know that we've controlled for all the variables in the spirit world? Or
Yeah, I mean, the first thing I was thinking of now is the theory about over 10 dimensions. And we can only grasp 3 of them, and we understand that maybe the 4th is time. But if we're living in a 10-dimension world, but we can only understand 3, maybe 4, then who are to say that in those other dimensions there are living other things that we just can't see? I mean, beside me now there could be something, but it's not there because I can't understand that dimension at all. I can't see it because we are too simple-minded, kind of. Yeah.
I mean,
it opens up so much when you think about, like, if you have like 10 dimensions and we can only understand 3 of them. Wow.
Well, and I think that's why I'm so attracted to the paranormal, is because it raises so many interesting questions about like the nature of existence, like if that's real, like not that I would even claim, if I'd seen a ghost, that I could say even conclusively, oh, that ghost is a dead person, or oh, that ghost is whatever. I don't know what a ghost is, necessarily.
No.
I would need some time talking with one to maybe help, enforce my opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just, there's so many open questions, and it's interesting because it's something that honestly anyone that has like, a little tape recorder and a flashlight and maybe a little electrical meter can go out and investigate, like, to a certain degree. I mean, science has reached a point where I feel like it's very difficult to make breakthroughs as an amateur in your home, because it's like you need these, like, big quantum physics equipment and large hadron colliders and
yeah, I mean,
all that sort of stuff.
You need that, but you don't. I mean, you need that to get like to the depths of it. But if you're going on an amateur level, you can get like nibs and nubs of stuff with cheaper and more simple equipment. I mean,
Sure.
Talking in my working experience, I mean, I have the multimeter that costs a lot of money. It's quite expensive. It's got a lot of different things I can do with it, but just to measure the voltage and the resistance and stuff, you could use a cheap one from what we call a Walmart and stuff like that. You could use that, but it's not accurate enough for my line of work. But you could do that for checking your car. Yeah. So I think that's correct for almost anything. I mean, if you're doing it amateur level, you don't need professional tools. I mean, for anything.
Yeah, I mean, and it's just, I mean, you're unlikely, but you're also unlikely to make any like new discoveries about quantum physics in your home. New discoveries that are not undocumented. You might discover something for yourself.
Yeah, but you don't know it, so yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to be so close-minded as to say that it's impossible. Just
no, it's impossible.
So
yeah.
So yeah, that was what I did, though. It was, it was cool. Learned a little bit about the history of the area.
Yeah.
It's a really, really cool area that is kind of right near downtown Minneapolis. So it's nice. But yeah, and of course, sorry.
Drifted off. Yeah,
drifted off.
I mean, I was thinking previous weekend I did this hike on this old postal route, and I think along that way you would be you could do some some ghost hunting or stuff like that. I mean, because that farm is known from at least 1611, so it's quite old.
Oh.
So something must be there, if there is something, I would say. And old buildings like that, it's hard to come by. I mean, US is from 1770 or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, 1776 was the year the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah, so officially it's like that. But when it's like 1611, that's a long time ago. So, and I guess there's been a lot of deaths around that area.
Yeah.
So,
well, it is really cool. I mean, ghost hunting in Europe is a different beast because there's so many more years of history, behind a lot of the buildings and a lot of the cities and stuff like that. I mean, you're not going to get anything more than a few hundred years old here in the United States, but you go to places and you can find places in the UK or anywhere from Norway.
they have walls from the Roman Empire in UK,
Yeah.
so you could find a lot. I mean, on that specific farm or farm area, I wouldn't call it a farm, but directly translated, it's called a farm. It was like a forest farm. They didn't have like there wasn't like corn and grains and stuff like that. It was a forest they maintained. There's been found swords, we found grave mounds from the Bronze Age and stuff like that. So it's in a historical place, and there is a lot of stuff, similar places around here, of course, in all of Europe, and some places in US too, but they're been built upon, I guess.
Yeah, but I would love to go ghost hunting in your area. I'm sure they're
yeah,
a very different experience.
Sure. I have no idea how that works, but yeah, sure. No idea how to start.
Yeah, I mean, I find that the thing that I try and do sometimes, in my very rare cases that I've actually gone out investigating, is try and capture EVPs, which are the voices appearing on audio recordings that you couldn't hear at the time. Because a while back, a couple of years back, I don't know, I was bored or just needed something to do one day, so I went to like a cemetery and took out my phone and started recording and started just talking to anything that might be there that I couldn't hear, and I actually got a pretty good EVP doing that. So
that's cool. That's really cool.
It is. Well, and it really started out, as I know I mentioned when we talked about it, with that TAPS investigator coming to college and doing the investigations and doing EVP sessions there. I mean, but that's the thing. I mean, anyone can do an EVP session. Especially these days, everyone has a phone that can do voice recording.
Yeah,
that's all you need to do some investigation, and to discover something interesting.
This is a topic Tony is quite fond of.
I really am.
Yeah.
I promise I'm not a wacko. I just think it's fascinating.
Yeah. I mean, we all have our hobbies or things we are quite excited about, so it's quite understandable. And I find it too fascinating, but I think I'm too skeptical to it. Too skeptical to find it that exciting. And I don't know if that's positive or negative. But yeah. Also, I'd like to mention, it just came to my mind. We have like this old cemetery here. I think there is rumored to be haunted, and there is a grave of a knight there.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's really old. I've never been there. I've driven past it a couple of times, but yeah, it's marked like a historical site now.
Yeah. Well, no, it's it's good. It's good to be skeptical. You absolutely should be.
Yeah, yeah.
We don't. As much as I am super curious about the possibility of the paranormal, I think it would be bad just to go into it being like, oh, that's a ghost, and that noise, that was a ghost.
Yeah, that would be too silly. I mean,
yeah.
Like
I take it serious. I mean, I take it seriously. I don't want to be a fool. I don't want to just. I don't want to be a fool and just be misled and by random noises and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So it's very important to me to exhaust all other explanations before I even consider that.
Yeah, I mean, it could be anything. Those measurements you get, it could be anything. But if you get them time on time again, it's yeah. I see what you mean, but you got to be skeptical. But if you get something and you want to get something, you want to get it again and again and again. If you get the same thing again and again, you are more likely that it is something, and not just a fault in the equipment.
Well, one of the things that I find interesting, and I don't know if this is. I mean, it's very possible that this is just something about human nature in general. So it might not mean anything. But I do think it's interesting that like ghosts and spirits are like to some degree like a constant across basically all cultures. Like all cultures have spirits and ghosts and that sort of thing. Doesn't mean that it doesn't necessarily make it real. But I think it's interesting that is like I think it's interesting that it transcends basically every culture that they're like spirits to some degree.
I mean, it probably comes from when people die and their body is there, but they can't disappear. So the spirit is, and it probably goes from there. But as you say, it from all around the world, from ancient times, and from different places around the world. It's quite strange, actually, but maybe not.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, and the perfectly mundane explanation is just that death is a scary thing, and that people need an explanation for it, so they come up with this thing, and that's
of course.
That's a very reasonable thing. So even that. I'm not saying that's proof of ghosts. I'm just saying that it's one. It could be construed as.
Yeah.
I to me at least, it is part of why I'm like an open skeptic. I tend to think maybe there is such a thing as ghosts. Partially because of that. Partially because of how widely accepted universally across all cultures, over time. And there's reason. Yeah. So don't at me saying that I'm a lunatic and that I'm just silly believing in fairy tales or something like that. I fully understand why one might think that, and I promise I approach things in a way that is not like that as best I can.
Same with hunting for the tooth fairy.
Yeah. I'm gonna get her one of these days.
Yeah, man, she's slippery that way.
I'm almost out of teeth too, so it's not good.
Almost out of teeth. Oh, that's great, man. That's great.
Sorry, I just went off on a tangent, and all of a sudden we're like a whole episode in.
That's no problem at all. I mean, we've done the paranormal before, and it was a hit. People like that. And are you saying we're about to wrap it up? Is it?
Well, I don't know.
I can't see the time.
It is about that time.
Yeah. Then I guess it is about that time, and we talked about Tony's experience about the paranormal. Yeah. So, people out there, are you into the paranormal? We would like to hear from you. If you have any experiences and stuff. Yeah. I was becoming a little ghost up the stairs.
Oh, yeah. Sounded awfully paranormal.
Yeah. Yeah. So hit that subscribe button and smash the notification bell and all that juicy stuff. And I guess we'll see you guys later.
Yeah. Have a good week.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.